Good evening and welcome to a very special and spooky episode of Vino Valley. For all you listeners out there, allow me to introduce myself. I am the keeper of the night, the shadow in the darkness. Some call me Vladimir the Impaler. Ryan, not that kind of impaling, you dirty man. But most of you know me as Count Dracula. Tonight, on this most hallowed of nights, we shall raise glasses together and drink the blood of the innocent.
Whoa, hey,
What? Is
it's not the blood of the innocent.
is not the blood of the innocent?
No. It's
What,
not
what is it?
We're just drinking wine. We're gonna drink wine
Wine?
tonight.
What is this weak ass shit? After this, I'm out. Well, anyway, let me introduce you to your host for this evening, so that I may take flight and leave this place. To my left, I have the man who I can only assume bathes in garlic and olive oil, Ryan Rebecki. And to my right, I have a man who looks like he's seen the sun as much as I have, your host, Michael Wall. So enjoy tonight. And don't leave your windows open at night. Wow, what a special guest that was to have.
Really, I didn't think we could get him.
On short notice, really.
It's a tight schedule.
Busy schedule, but, we just cracked open the window in like a bat, did his thing and out. So thank you to Count Dracula, but...
He didn't care much for me, though.
No, I don't think,
No.
Yeah, he was kind of standing away, and, do you have a cross on tonight, or just the normal?
It's just the normal olive oil and just garlic coming out of my
garlic
pores.
and it was hissing a lot. It was a bit much. But hey, we're here. We're
are.
back. Another episode of Vino Volley. How are you?
I'm well. We are very close to Halloween. A holiday that is becoming more near and dear to my heart as the years go on. With kids, I feel like they just make it so much more fun, and we just kind of walk around and drink until the kids get tired. And
it is great.
It is.
Yeah.
And not to mention, it's going to be mid-70s on Thursday.
I know. I was looking at that, which last year I was like, I can't feel my hands.
It was cold. It was
like
cold
40s,
last year.
I think. So, yeah, definitely excited to get the kids out there, see what kind of candy they can get, and, have a few brews or...
Oh, yeah. Whatever
libations,
libations, yeah. But it's good. We are fully in to, like, the doldrums of the fall, educationally wise, and I'll just leave it at that. Soccer's winding down. We got 2 more weeks. 6 points up with 2 games to go.
Beautiful.
So, having a great season. My youngest is an absolute menace, and pretty much had to give him a yellow card, a figurative yellow card for this past week's game for just an over the top, egregious, and unsportsmanlike celebration. Even though we were about up 12-0, so I just grabbed him by the arm, not alarmingly that people would talk when they get back to their cars, and I was like, "Go touch your mother." But yeah, so that's what's going on with me. So happy to be here. I feel like it's been a while, but it's really only been a couple weeks. But
it's too long.
It's been too long.
If lives weren't so hectic, man, we'd love to do this weekly. But
absolutely,
it's always great to get together.
Mike, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm in the midst of rearranging my basement / man cave where we actually
feng shuiing it.
Yeah, have our podcast. I've moved my office down here. Very excited about that. I'm in the midst of putting in a putting green so I can practice throughout the wintertime. So enjoying that. We've had 3 different birthday parties / celebrations for my daughter. Although it's very concerning. I don't want her to be the kind of birthday week celebrators.
Oh yeah.
But it just the house is only so big. We can only hold so many people in it, so we kind of needed to
get a divide and conquer.
But yeah, it's been great, and a lot of things going on in the world of soccer. So excited to be back in here, try and talk about them as briefly as possible, so that we can really get into the crux of the reason we are here today.
Yeah. So bring in the luggage, unzip it, let's unpack it.
All right. Well, first off, Allison injury.
God, do I love Alisson Becker.
Yes.
But as keepers go, he is injured a lot. And we're not talking like out for a game or two. Like, these are long stretches.
He commits to an injury, or an injury commits to him.
I think it's always the hamstring.
But you know who he commits to?
God.
This G-O-D, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He'll let you know, too.
Oh, yeah, he will.
Yeah.
He will.
Anyway.
But yeah, so, I mean, granted, Comey Kelleher stepping up, probably one of, the best number 2 you can have would be a number 2, a number 1 on plenty of other teams. It might be so come the end of this season as, obviously Liverpool purchased an up-and-coming keeper to be, I think, the long-term replacement for Alisson. But, again, never a dull moment in that regards. Next up, I had Klopp signs as the head coach of football for Red Bulls.
That's been since our last episode?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, head of football for Red Bulls, for all the teams that they basically overseeing, all the teams, the 5 of them, which I think it's great. I would have been a little bit more hurt if he was coaching a different team. Granted, I mean, like, it's if the national team came calling, like, I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't be mad at him. I know there are some of fans from, like, Mainz and Dortmund that were kind of giving him shtick for it, but, like, honestly, like, it's what he wanted to do.
He wants, what, five different clubs?
5. So Leipzig, Salzburg, New York, Leeds. Is and I forget the 5th one. But
okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he's basically going to be like more like interaction with the coach, like kind of methodology and thought process. So I think it's perfect for him. It's a way for him to stay in soccer, not have the same burnout, be able to kind of, I think, allocate more time between his personal life and his professional life, which I think he just couldn't do as the role he had at Liverpool. It just worked out. So
definitely seems like a good fit.
Honorable mention, Juan, our man Juan, did reach out.
Yeah, Juan!
For our Leicester City most punchable face.
Juan's doing big things. Yeah,
and can't be happier for him, but, we obviously missed the write-in, so we're happy to have it. This one was short and sweet. So he goes, "Hey fellas, sorry I haven't been writing in. I've recently gotten a job and have been catching up while working, so always looking forward to the newest upload." Well, congratulations on the job. Always happy to hear it, but always happy that you keep in time for Vino Volley.
Yeah.
Says, "I couldn't really think of anyone on Leicester City, but if I had to choose one, it would be Oliver Skipp for looking so regular." That was my pick, Oliver Skipp.
Non-threatening Oliver Skipp.
Appreciate it, Juan. Always happy to have it when you are able to, and good luck on the new job.
Yeah. Good job, dude. Literally and figuratively.
Big news.
Yes.
Heartbreaking news for everybody else out there who's not a Manchester United fan.
Yeah.
Ten Hag got the axe.
Yeah. Finally.
Which, like,
it's like, how many strikes do you get?
I hope he got 1,000. I wanted him to sign the long-term contract and be there, and for Man United to waller and
just watch
lower than mediocrity for the rest of their lives.
God, what a dumpster fire!
Oh, dude, I watched the West Ham Man United game. Now, granted, I think that the penalty was soft, but that being said, Manchester United, you shouldn't have really been put yourself in that position where you could lose that game. Like, they bounced back after being down 1-0, tied it. You should have gone on to win that game 3-1. So, yeah, so now the latest news is the coach for Sporting FC in Portugal is set to be the new Man United manager. Now, he's a guy that plays like kind of like total football, full attacking. I was talking to my brother-in-law Justin about it, and I said, "Are you more sad for Sporting or happy for Man United as a fan?" He's like, he was more sad for Sporting because that's his team in Portugal, because they're flying top of the league, and you never know what can happen. But so that was big stuff. But man, did I want Ten Hag to stay there forever and just
watch it burn.
Oh yeah, just have no identity ever.
Yeah,
And then I think the last thing I had from like in the world of soccer was Vinny Jr. not
snubbed.
Winning. Snubbed is a strong word, and I'm just gonna mention it now because it little big market tease of our later conversation. But yeah, I think Rodri's a phenomenal player, and if you look
definitely is.
You look at how stacked Real Madrid are. Like Vinny goes out, like I think there's formations that they can still fly.
Yeah.
You've seen, Manchester City are still a strong side, but they are gettable now. Whereas like prior, where you had Rodri as like that last line of defense, they were a fortress.
Yeah.
Away or home. So now like you see like teams are getting at them. They're not winning these games with clean sheets. So I don't like Man City. I got nothing against Rodri. I think he's a solid player.
Yeah.
And, playing for Spain, winning the Euros and whatnot, I think he deserved it as well. So, but I'm not one that is outraged.
No, I don't care. I mean, we didn't really have a dog in the fight, but
we didn't have. But like, I think if you look at Mo Salah's numbers against Vinny's that year, in other years, like if you want to talk about a player who gets the shit end of the stick,
100%,
it's Mo Salah. Like I don't think he's not flashy. You just but the quality he is, and I just think he gets the shit end of the stick and doesn't get the credit he deserves. But we obviously see it week in and week out, and couldn't be happier.
Yes.
So that was it, kind of like in the world of soccer.
It's a little housekeeping.
Yeah, and then I did have one, and if you would like, I can try and sing it. Is I came up with a song for Ryan Gravenberg.
Oh, did you now?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that my pipe dream is that one of our Vino Volleyers, whether it be listener or social media, I'll post the song, at least the lyrics, on the Instagram, our Instagram again, Vino Volley 85. You can also reach us at vinovolley85gmail.com.
Sure can.
And then vinovolley85.wixsite.com/vinovolley. But anyway, so it is to the theme of Holiday Road, like from the
Christmas Vacation?
Christmas Vacation.
Oh.
All right, there you go.
See? I got it.
Are you ready?
First try.
He plays the number 6 for Liverpool. Oh, under Arne Slot. He's born anew. Oh, Gravenberg. Gravenberg. He's so nimble. He's so quick. Oh, makes other teams look like shit. Oh, Gravenberg. Gravenberg. And then it repeats, just like the song does.
That's awesome.
That's a pretty good
well
one.
Done.
Yeah, all right.
Good for you.
Thank you. So that was, really.
You should have taped you doing that, and then we could upload it onto the Instagram. Then you go live.
We did. We did tape it. This is
no, but you actually a video of you doing it.
That might do that.
Yeah,
it might be my first video, one of video content.
Yeah.
Of the Vino Volley era. All right. So now that we've wrapped that up, I think it's time to say for all our Vino Volleyers out there, it is once again time to pop those corks, indulge in a healthy pour, and dive stud showing into today's episode. So Ryan,
yes,
why don't you tell the folks the wine we will be drinking today?
Tonight we are drinking Squid Ink. So Squid INC, not like ink from a pen, which is also apparently a type of wine. So this is Squid Incorporated, not to be confused with Kids Incorporated, which Mario Lopez was on as a young teenager. Fun fact. You know what Kids Incorporated?
Yeah, Kids. Yeah, I did enough saying.
You did a great job. So Squid Ink. This comes from, I can't find it on the interwebs, so I'm on their website right now.
I feel like the wines we get from Vinbin, again, shout out to the Vinbin, are very more niche.
Sneaky.
So we've had a hard time finding them on wine.com.
It comes in at 13%. It's in the Central Valley, 100% Cabernet Sauvignon.
That's Cabernet Sauvignon.
Caps out.
And they say in the biz.
Yeah. The tasting notes. Ooh, lengthy tasting notes, and they give a wine and food pairing, which I am just rock hard over right now.
That's your wheelhouse.
Squid Ink captivates with its unique depth of color derived from mature Cabernet Sauvignon grapes, coming in and extended maceration. They didn't do a good job spacing any of this out.
But was that word mature and you used it mature?
Mature.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
from mature Cabernet Sauvignon grapes coming and extended maceration. Reading it as it lies, folks.
Just hammering
Just
it.
mashing the potatoes. Aromas of black currants, vanilla, and tobacco. On the palate, it delivers delightful flavors, offering a harmonious blend of dark fruit, subtle hints of vanilla, and a touch of earthy tobacco. Okay, yes. The wine's smooth texture and balanced acidity culminate in a memorable tasting experience, leaving a lingering impression of elegance and sophistication. Squid Ink stands as a testament to the artistry of winemaking, showcasing the richness and complexity of carefully selected grapes. Very well written. I appreciate this. I would have made it way more over-the-top adult content.
No,
but I appreciate it. Culminating all over.
All right.
Anyway,
there we go.
the wine and food tasting. An ideal wine to serve with grilled meat and light stews. Perfectly with roast beef and veal chops and a variety of strong cheeses. Yes.
I mean, it's getting colder. Stew.
Oh.
I mean, light stew. It needs to be hard. If it's got the word stew in it, it's got to be hearty.
Yeah.
But like a Guinness beef stew.
Yeah.
Hell
Stick
yeah.
a spoon in it. It stays up.
That's right.
Stick your dick in it. It also stays up.
All right.
Yeah,
So before
there
Ryan
you
spits
go.
anything out of his mouth again, the reason that
I'm not going to spit this wine out, I'll tell you that.
All right.
I'm going to be a real dirty girl with this wine.
Pants on.
I got tight jeans on. These things aren't coming off.
So, the way that we're tying this all with the episode Squid Ink, super dark, as we are in the throes of All Hallows Eve and the darkness is spreading across, we thought it'd be great to talk about ghost players.
Ooh.
Yeah, you should have used. So, Ryan and I brought to the table, was it 3 with an honorable mention? Or just 3?
I think it was just 3.
Okay, good, because I have 3 and I panicked for a second. I
Yeah.
was just like, fuck. So it's just 3 ghost players.
I didn't panic. I said, yeah, fuck it.
Right.
I got 3.
So we're going to talk about some players that have are since passed, ones that we would want to meet, talk with, and reasons why. So we're going to share those, and so obviously we wanted to tie that into the darkness. So yeah, so let's get ready. Let's raise a glass. Let's cheers and
Yes.
let's dive in.
So we should be experiencing a black currants, vanilla, and tobacco.
Have I ever asked what black currants are?
Yeah, no, they're a bushed berry. I can't consciously say I know necessarily what they taste like. I've seen them grow.
Okay.
I've been like, currants. Here you go. Like, and then I dropped the line of like, I saw something. It was a current event today.
Oh.
God. Kick myself in the dick. Now, full disclosure, sinus is a little compromised today, so I'm going to do my best. I got to give the people what they want.
That's all the listeners ask for is your best. Here we go. That set me up for a great line from The Rock.
Yeah.
Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
That's a good one.
Carla was the prom queen.
Really?
Oh, I'm so glad that was set up.
It's The Rock. I wonder how that movie held up. I haven't watched it in probably 20 years.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Nick Cage and Sean Connery. The only better duo is Sean Connery and Harrison Ford in
so good.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Ryder's almost at the age where we're going to start. I'm going to start showing him. I don't know how he'll do with Temple of Doom.
I honestly would skip Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Like, I honestly, I love Raiders for what it was, but I literally will just watch
Last Crusade
on repeat. It's my favorite. I think it's the only DVD of the Indiana Jones series I own. Because, like, them together is so goddamn good.
Yeah.
We named the dog Indiana.
Definitely vanilla on the nose.
Yep.
Again, sinus is slightly compromised. I can see, like, lingering tobacco, like, almost if you had, like, an empty bag of backwoods, or, like, an old cigar box that was, like...
Had just, like, you see, like, the remnants.
There's the little remnants, yeah.
Yeah, vanilla and tobacco on the nose.
Yep, dark fruit, plums, but, like, the inside of a plum. Vanilla, but not overpoweringly sweet. You get it right away. It almost has like a sweet, like sweetness to it. I can't really taste or smell any of the tobacco, but compromised.
I'm waiting for it.
The balance of texture and acidity
It's nice.
100%. It is smooth.
It is smooth.
And it's not super acidic.
It's full bodied, like a great mouthfeel.
Yeah.
It's not. It feels heavy in your mouth, but like in a good way. And I've taken a big sip, there's like, it's just like, this is like, it's like, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
But again, 13%. So like that, I think probably caters to why it is so smooth. But I dig it.
Yeah, no, I took like a massive first sip and like took a gulp. I'm like, wait for it. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, good. Good so far. Do you have any reservations? You look like you're a pensive look.
No, I have nowhere to be tonight except for here. I won't openly go and buy Cab Sav. Like, I feel like I always just stick with Italian wines, but it never disappoints. I feel like every time we've had one, it's always been good. Like, consistently, it's like a good like variety of wine.
It is. I think it's always solid.
Yeah.
I haven't had a cab that I can think of that I was just like blown away by. But again, I've also never had a cab where I was just like,
yeah.
You know?
It's always the kind of middle of the road. It's always like good, but not like knock your socks off.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's an adventure for us. We have to find a cab Sav that like, I don't know.
But I think it's also tough where our price point is. Like, there are like cabs out there that are a couple $100.
Yeah.
And
not going to do that.
Right. Yeah. Maybe if we had more than like 30 listeners on average.
Yeah. That's okay.
But
I thank every one of them.
I love every single one of our followers and appreciate the time they dedicate to listen to us ramble on because we enjoy it.
Yep.
So even if we get like one little smirk or one just like, oh, God damn it. Those are the moments that I cherish.
Just a smile and a twinkle in their eyes when they open up their listening platform and they see, a new episode.
Oh, I'm in for a treat. Yeah, so I think a solid start so far. So why don't we, now that we've kind of gotten the initial, let's dive into and talk about the ghost players.
I was not. No, I was
getting your list ready.
Yeah. No, I was just doing a little modification.
Okay.
So I can read it. I was making the font larger.
All right. So, would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I will go first.
Okay.
I will go first.
Curious if we have any duplication.
Yes. My first pick is Lev Yashin or Yashin. Are you familiar with this person?
Not yet.
Oh, you will be, and I bet you sneaky are. Lev Yashin was a Russian or Soviet soccer player. He has the goalie award named after him, associated with the Ballon d'Or. Huh?
Is it the Puskas? Is that the goalie award? No, that wouldn't make sense.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He is also the only goalkeeper to win the Ballon d'Or.
Oh.
Yeah. He is one of the forefathers and pioneers of modern goalkeeping, using not only his hands but his legs to make save, and was a proponent of being like a first kind of couple guys who would be like a sweeper keeper, who would play the ball at their feet outside the box and be engaged in the play outside of just like ball stays out of net with hands like that.
It had to do with the accent.
Yeah. Oh no, it's gonna be a heavy accented episode. So yeah, the trophy for best goalkeeper, which is selected by former Ballon d'Or winners. That's how they do it. So Alisson obviously won a few years ago, and then Martinez has won the last 2 years, if my facts are correct.
Yeah, I mean Martinez, yeah.
So, like I said, grew up in Soviet Russia. Soccer wasn't necessarily his...
In Soviet Russia, road forks you.
Ball kicks you. As the story goes, is similar to most people in Soviet Russia. They just like go to the mill, right? They just work in mill, right? Apparently had a nervous breakdown at age 18.
It's a ripe age to have
full blown like just freak out. So he starts in on the Moscow Dynamo soccer team. Doesn't have a good couple of performances. And then he's like, this sucks. And then goes and plays hockey for the Moscow Dynamo hockey team as a goalie and wins them the whole Soviet Cup in that year. So goes from being like goaltender in soccer team to goaltender in hockey, wins the whole Soviet League. Now, comes back to soccer after that because he's just like, done with hockey now, right? Goes back and ends up being one of the most prolific goaltenders like in the game and is one of like the pioneers of modern goalkeeping. Now, why would I like him to come back, or why would he be a choice for a ghost player?
Yeah.
I have a quote here, and when asked during his playing career, like, oh, hey, like you have a history of like mental breakdowns and like high anxiety, like, well, how do you get through a game with all these screaming fans? And he says,
you're going to do this with a heavy accent.
I was not, but now I will. The trick is to smoke a cigarette to calm your nerves and then take a big swing of a strong liquor to tone your muscles. So, pregame, rip a butt, slam some hooch. Yeah, and then goes and like is now like one of the most famous goalkeepers. Ideally, like, if you look at like FIFA teams of the century or like the best 11 ever, usually he is slotted in as a goalkeeper. So one of the reasons I thought, like, if we could bring him back, or if he wasn't a ghost, or if he could somehow communicate, maybe the idea that someone who had issues concerning mental health and getting over that, maybe he could, be a strong proponent for, mental health and athletics. Yeah. It's all downhill from here, so like I started strong.
Okay,
so, yeah.
That was
I was like, you know what? Like, I didn't really know about this guy.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, all right, like looking through some big name people who have passed. I was like, let's deal with this guy. And I was reading. I'm like, oh shit! Like one of the best goalkeepers ever to live. So a little deep dive. From being a complete mess at 18 to being one of the most prolific goalkeepers of all time, I think that's a pretty big deal.
That is.
Ghost players. What is your first pick?
My first pick is Johan Cruyff.
Johan. I had a feeling you were going to pick him.
Well, there's one on there that it was low-hanging fruit that I hope you did pick.
Okay.
But we'll digress. So, yeah, I just like, named like pretty much the greatest Dutch footballer.
Correct.
Was just a prolific player, like dynamic, strong, won the Ballon d'Or 3 times. He didn't create it, but he was one of the biggest proponents of total football.
He sure was.
He employed as a manager and is regarded as one of the most influential figures in modern football. Like, I think that was like the biggest, one of the biggest acolytes is just how transformative the game was with him as a manager coming at the helm and really taking this.
That was Ajax, right?
It was Ajax.
Okay.
Yep. And pretty much taking this and becoming one of the greatest managers of all time.
Yeah.
And it's eye-catching, and you see some of the greatest managers today still implementing that total football.
Yep.
None bigger than Pep Guardiola, who is
a criminal.
I do give Pep the benefit of the doubt on that one, but I think he is just I hate Man City, but like you cannot deny how.
Oh, he's a genius. He's a tremendous. He might be one of the best coaches.
I mean, for things like you take players like Phil Foden, right?
Fucking forehead Phil Foden.
Yeah, forehead Foden. How awesome! I mean, granted, he hasn't had as much time lately, but last season, how awesome he was for Manchester City.
Yeah, and
then and again, you could just say about coaching, but how much of a shell of a player he was for the England squad.
Yeah,
like. Obviously comparing Southgate to Guardiola. But again, like, Cruyff really epitomized what modern, total football is. And if not for Pep Guardiola, then also Ted Lasso.
That's true.
So, you know, we saw the Richmond, how they could play with Total Football. So he has his own move, the Crifton.
He sure does.
Johan Crifton. I don't see much in it, but it is pretty special.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to bring him back as a ghost is to, one, be able to see, I think, the future of what he started in Pep, not just from the Man City side, but like the Barcelona squad.
The development of the game.
The Bayern, like how he took what he made and has perfected it, and how now other coaches try and mirror that in some way. Now, obviously, like I think Slot is in a way a little bit of like Total Football. His is more tactical in the interplay, but again, it's everybody. It's going for like everybody has a role to play.
Yeah.
So I think I would want him to come back and be able to see and appreciate what he started, and also just as some of these other ones, just to like sit down and have a drink and just kind of pick the brain of one of the greatest managerial minds and one of the greatest players of all time. Just be like, how'd you do it?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like where did it click? When did it click? And so, yeah.
It's a great pick. I'm afraid to sit down and have a drink with Lev Yashin. Get like a knife in my hand or something.
Oh, you would definitely be playing knife games.
Yeah. The old Russian knife games. Wait till you find a picture of him. It is
haunting.
Not haunting, but be like,
you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
My second, and this is where I went a little wackadoo here, but I think you'll see what I do when I tie it in. My second is Bob Marley. And you might say to yourself, Ryan, what are you doing?
That's what my face is saying.
Yes. So, I am talking about that Bob Marley.
Okay.
Reggae singer, songwriter, guitarist, who and this is recorded numerous times, that if he wasn't a musician, he was going to be a professional soccer player. In fact, he would bring a soccer ball with him everywhere. He'd practice before he went on stage. He'd bring it in the recording studio. He was always juggling and playing soccer. And he originally thought that was going to be his ticket out of Trenchtown, was his soccer skills. But being of Rastafarian belief and being like peace and love and that whole thing, his style of soccer was incredibly crunching and physical, earning him the name Tough Gong due to his aggressive play. And because he didn't believe in that, his belief system didn't believe in being overly physical or violent towards another, he kind of focused more on the music than the soccer. But he was a supporter of the team which Pelé played on in Brazil that I should have wrote down, but I didn't. He was also, to a lesser extent, a fan of Tottenham Hotspur, but whatever. We can leave that.
We can't. I mean, I don't. Anybody's a Tottenham fan, I just want to go.
Okay. In fact, I have a quote here from him. It says, "I'm not going to do a culturally appropriate accent. I could, but I won't.
You won't.
I love music before I love. I'm going to read it as is, so it would sound more accurate as a Jamaican speaking this. I love music before I love football. If I love football first, it maybe it can be dangerous." He claimed in 1980, "I love music and then football after. Playing football and singing is dangerous because the football gets very violent. I sing about peace, love, and all that stuff, and something might happen, If a man tackle you hard, it brings feelings of war." So I'm like, you know what? You throw a little Bob Marley in every once in a while. It's like, get the good vibes going. And to know that he was like a soccer fan, always playing the game, saw that as an opportunity to better himself and possibly better his life. I think, and I know he was probably gone too soon. And this isn't even coming from like a huge reggae Bob Marley guy.
Sure.
But I think he had a lot more living to do. So I hope he is a ghost somewhere and everything be Irie.
So close. We were so close. So close. Two very good ones so far.
Thanks, man.
You've surprised me, Ryan Rebecki.
Thank you. That's what happens when I do the reading.
I'm not sure what to do with it. I almost feel like my list isn't good enough.
No. Keep bringing the heat.
My second pick is none other than George Best.
George Best.
George Best. Man United legend, labeled as one of the greatest players of all time. Nicknamed the Fifth Beatle for his looks by Portuguese press. An absolute coxman and party animal. So
really?
Oh yeah. So Best, I thought if you stumbled upon this, it was like right up your alley. So Best was a phenom, Northern Irishman, like an absolute, again, one of the greatest players of all time, but was just like, had like the Beatles look, like the hair and everything, and was a party animal to the point of alcoholism, and which complications of liver transplant. Medication, I think, after the liver transplant ended with, that was the end of his life. But anyway, but just like, was just slinging it, slaying it, slugging it.
I want to make such a bad impression right now, but I'm not going
to. And so I have some memorable quotes.
Please do.
From George Best.
Okay.
I spent a lot of money on booze, birds, and fast cars. The rest I just squandered.
Panama!
In 1969, I gave up women and alcohol. It was the worst 20 minutes of my life. Yeah. People always say that I shouldn't be burning the candle at both ends. Maybe they haven't got a big enough candle.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We need like guitar riffs or like a Van Halen solo after all these. Keep going.
I might go to Alcoholics Anonymous, but I think it would be difficult for me to remain anonymous. And then the last one.
What a fucking badass.
The last one. They say I slept with 7 Miss Worlds. I didn't. It was only 4. I didn't turn up for the other 3. So this guy was just one. I mean, granted, I would hate to bring him back as a ghost just to bring him back down the path of his addiction that caused him to die. Yeah. But man, does he just seem like a guy that you would want to just go to a bar with and just get absolutely ripped.
I just want to see a picture of him.
Oh yeah, it fits.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. Yeah.
It's me, it's George Best. Yeah, dump out your tits.
Put them on the glass.
Put them on. Died 2005.
Yeah.
59.
Yeah.
Just real quick to interject. Lev Yashin, I didn't share the way he died. Similar, but different. Died at 60, so one more year than Mr. Best. Leg amputation, and then had stomach cancer, and had died of complications due to surgery due to stomach cancer.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Bummer.
Super bummer. Sorry about that. Man. Yeah, he seems like a dude who was ripping and tearing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
Cool. That's a good pick. I like that, too. All right. Do you want the one we've all been waiting for?
I do.
Okay. Last but not least for me. It was the easiest decision, and I feel like there was so much I wanted to write down and then just worked myself up into a circle. My last pick is, of course, the one, the only, Diego Maradona. Cue the music. Just a man who was bigger than the game, but not bigger than the piles of cocaine he consumed. He goes down as one of the most influential and famous soccer players ever. In fact, he was the joint player of the century, only with who? Pele. Him and Pele shared joint player of the century awards. In his career for both club and country, he had 680 appearances and 345 goals. Now, he is most well known for the Hand of God goal, which I watched numerous times again today, which just insane series of events.
Can you imagine being the opposing fan and seeing that shit?
No.
I would have fucking lost it.
And the fact that, I mean, again, it happened when it happened, so there's no VAR. There's the referees, and what they see is what they see, and that's what they're going to call. And, I mean, even with how, I'm sure you could get like 4K upgraded freaking technology. It is
egregious.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. But was a guy who, again, transcended the game. He was a superstar, bigger than the game personality. Everybody loved him, except for maybe, his wife, whom he was with since the age of 15. They met as like teenage sweethearts, and his track record with the ladies, very self-explanatory. All right, where do we begin? Because I have in bold, looking at me in like size 48 font, I just have so much cocaine. Let's go through some of his accolades. I'll start with the earliest ones and work my way up quickly. Let's see. Under 20 World Cup champion for Argentina U20s. Argentinian champions with Boca Juniors. Spanish Cup winner in 83 with Barcelona. Spanish League Cup with Barcelona. Spanish Cup winner again with Barcelona 84, so that's 3 years in a row, I think. World Cup winner in 1986. Silver Boot Award for that World Cup. Was the Coppa Italia Cup winner with Napoli, which I'll circle back to in 87. Top scorer in 88 in the Italian League. He was the UEFA Cup winner in 89 with Napoli. In 1990, they were World Cup runners-up. And then, again, the Serie A Italian champions in 1990 and 1987. So, very illustrious, prestigious career when it comes to awards. He went from like the slums of Argentina, built himself up, ended up going to Barcelona. At the time, it was like a $5.4 million,
which is a wild amount of money.
Wild amount of money. It was the biggest signing ever.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, Napoli brings him in, and they fly him in on a fucking helicopter. They dump him right in the middle of the San Paulo, which is their stadium. And he gets everyone fired up. He gets off the helicopter, fires a piss missile into the net, starts juggling on a platform, and then kicks the ball into the stands. These fucking people are going nuts. And at that point, Napoli was almost in relegation in Italy. Like, they were like a very unsuccessful Southern Italian organization. He rolls in for like 6.7 million. Again, the biggest. And just like, all of a sudden, he's like, this is my place. He's like, they are salt of the earth people. I can reflect where I came from. I see it here. And just takes over. I mean, even now, you go and walk around Naples, and there's still homages to him on the side of buildings. Like, he was their superhero. Yeah. Now, not only was he really good at scoring goals, he was also very good at scoring with the ladies. It was said by his driver.
Is it Wilt Chamberlain numbers?
His driver in Italy. I wish I wrote his name down because it was awesome. He slept with approximately 8,000 women in his time, just as his driver. So I think this is just his time in Naples.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just like in the car.
Just like knuckling in the backseat. He has 5 kids with 3 different women. Got hepatitis a couple times.
And it's just math. It's just a numbers game.
It's just numbers. Really, you're just. And my guess is he was a very passionate, and probably when the amorous feeling came over him, I don't think he was taking many precautions. He was just firing for the back of the net. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get it.
He was gushing on the inside.
is. You didn't get it.
No, that's unprotected sex. So he has a very well documented recreational habit of cocaine, and that earned him a 15-month ban. And then at the age of 37, when he was pretty much going to get busted again, he hung it up. But did have a coaching career at a bunch of different places, and he was a guy who, when he showed up, like, lit up a room. The last couple times he was on TV, they're like, "Oh, Maradona!" And everyone's just like, "Pop, pop, 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 pop." And he's just like, he's not a big guy, but his personality and his charisma and his bravado just well exceeded his diminutive stature. And then, unfortunately, in 2020, died of a heart attack a few days undergoing emergency brain surgery. He was also 60 years old. So, guy who was just bigger than the game, big personality. Obviously, we joke about him just blasting mounds of Alpine White, but
I was going to say, to quote the great Rick James, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
A hell of a drug. But dude could ball.
Sure can.
And many of his teammates said that it was almost like he had either Velcro or had the ball tied to his shoes, because the guy just did amazing things. And, you know, would love to know what he's up to right now. Just
snort some lines of some big old boobies. Brumsky!
Juggling a soccer ball and juggling some jugs. So there you go. Mike, who's your third pick?
I went much more sentimental. I went with the great Bill Shankly.
That's a great pick.
So, you know, was a Scottish football player, manager, obviously best known for his time as manager of Liverpool. You know, Shankly brought success to Liverpool, gaining promotion to the First Division and winning 3 league championships and the UEFA Cup, and obviously laid the foundation on which his successors, Bob Paisley and Joe Fagan, were able to build by winning 7 league titles and 4 European Cups in the 10 seasons after Shankly retired in 1974. On May 30th, 1942, he did play a single game for Liverpool and a 4-1 win over Everton at Anfield.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But, again, they don't call him the Shankly Gates for nothing.
Yeah.
And, you know, not really going to go through too many statistics. It's just, as a Liverpool fan, who else would you want?
Yeah, I mean, he's on the Mount Rushmore of Liverpool
legends. I mean, obviously you would think when you talk about legends of other teams, you talk about players, but like he laid this beautiful foundation, this ideology of what it was to be a Liverpool player, to be a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
You know, the "You Never Walk Alone," like it. Yeah. You know, I get chills, I get goosebumps just talking about it. So yeah, he was an easy pick for me.
Yeah.
No pomp and circumstance. I just would love to just say thanks.
You hope that he's looking down right now being like, "Michael, you're doing good."
That makes me feel so much better.
Your co-host has a massive boner.
Yeah, so Bill Shankly was my third pick.
It's a great pick. That's a quality pick.
I think we both, for very different reasons, had very good lists.
Yeah.
But you, doing the reading, sir, are a whole nother animal. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
All right, so before we get into because we're now going to be in Spain. Why don't you give your thoughts on the wine before I...
España. It's good. It hasn't changed. It's warm in the mouth. You get the smoothness of the vanilla and the darker, warmish fruit. This is a dangerous wine.
Indeed.
Because you could take like full-blown mouthfuls.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that was enjoyable. There's no burn. It's the balance of acidity and like richness is on the money. And I really like it. This is gonna be it's gonna be up there. That's what I'm feeling in my plums.
I agree. I think it's solid. I'm tasting a lot of what was described and enjoying it. And like you said, very dangerous. but in a good way.
Yes.
So I've got a number rolling around. We'll hit that momentarily. But now that it's the first time we've gone outside of the Premier League. We are now going to La Liga. So our first edition of Una cara que necesita un puñetazo.
Yeah.
Which is a face that's in need of a punch.
Love
in
it.
Spanish. I'm going to get better at saying that as it goes on. But our first one on the list was Real Madrid.
Sure is.
And I've got mine.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
I'm locked in. You go first. I'm just going to lead off by my original pick, knowing he's not on the team anymore, was going to be Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Because, obviously I associate him with Real Madrid, and you and I have spoken on numerous occasions. We will never, ever forget what he did to Mo. Yeah.
So, my pick is Vinicius Jr. for most punchable face.
Yep.
And the reason for it, and I think I kind of alluded to it with going back to I wasn't at all hurt or surprised that he didn't win the Ballon d'Or. I don't think he deserved it because, and here's my big thing is when you look at the acolytes or what is basically taken into account to win the Ballon d'Or is who you are as a player is one of them.
Yes, it is.
And here's the thing: there are two types of players in the world. There's heroes and there's villains. You cannot be both.
That's a good call. So, I thought you were going to go with a movie quote. That sounded like you were going on a Alfred from Batman situation.
No.
Okay.
There's just so you either the hero or the heel, right?
Yes.
Diego Costa. That's a guy who knows what he is. He's going to instigate. He's going to poke. He's going to prod. Yeah. He plays the bad guy role. He knows it.
Yep.
Sergio Ramos is another one. He's the tough guy. He's going to rough things up.
Yep.
Vinicius Jr. is one who tries to play both and is a cunt for it.
Sure is. Capital C.
So he'll vilify being why do they pick on me? Now again, I'm taking the racism out of the equation because anybody who yells any racist chant is a fucking piece of shit.
Full-blown piece of shit. You know who else is a piece of shit? Ryan Giggs.
Oh, yeah.
Piece of shit.
It has no place in the game. But I'm talking about where, it's just yelling at a player he just, why are they yelling at me, all this. But then, you watch, there's a whole video that is, a compilation is out about, his mannerisms, the way he plays the game. He's a piece of shit on the field. He does shitty tactics. He taunts, the away fans. So, either you're the good guy and you play to a higher level, you don't engage, you play an honest game, and you let your goals, assists speak for themselves, or you dig in, you become the heel, you antagonize, you taunt, you do the dark art shit. You can't have it both ways. Yeah. So for that indecision, I think he deserves a fucking punch in the face.
Love it.
And again, he did score the winner against us in the Champions League final.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Anyway,
that's a great pick.
That's my pick.
Love that. My pick is going to be Kylian Mbappe. He's... Where do I start? Because I have a lot going on here. You went to a very well-established, universally known powerhouse of a team. You were on a team that was supposed to be built to win, and you were supposed to be a cornerstone player of that. And for years and years, we're oh, is he going to go here? Is he going to go there? And he's no. And I feel like every season gave everyone a freaking over-the-pants Grays job, and was just no, I'm going to stay at PSG.
And just keep taking more
and then just take more money.
Yeah.
And, wasn't doing... at that point, he was being built up by media and by fans to be oh, he's always been, the next big thing for so long to where, he almost kind of peaked when he was, 19 years old. When he had, the blue hair or whatever. That was probably some of his best when he was just, so freaking fast, running up and down the field, making plays, and they're all right, we're going to support him with, help me here.
Dembele?
Yep.
Ousmane Dembele.
And then the big three that Messi went there. Neymar. Yeah, and then they're like, well, okay, I guess this didn't work. And he's always, like, people build him up as a bride, and he's always going to be a bridesmaid, you know what I mean? And then to go to Real Madrid and, like, again, take it, get paid wherever he's getting paid, and I feel like he's resting on the laurels of when he was much younger and playing a better game. So for that, and for jerking everyone around every offseason, you're going to get it right en la boca. Sí. Y la cabeza.
I love it. There were plenty of people I wanted to punch on Real Madrid, but I think those...
Yeah, there's a lot.
Courtois was up there.
Tell you who I don't want...
Rudiger was up there.
Tell you who I don't want to punch, though. Who I have the utmost respect for.
Modric?
Yes.
Yeah. Fucking guy, man.
You know? He's still doing it.
Doing it so well.
39 years old.
Tony Kroos would have been another one that I would just like. I got nothing but respect.
39 years young.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, September 9th. He just had a birthday not that long ago.
Happy birthday.
There you go. Feliz cumpleaños or whatever that is in Croatian. But yeah.
All right. Well, now that we've wrapped up our first in the Spanish League.
Bueno.
Let's give our score. Yeah, I'm just not acknowledging that. Let's give our score for the wine.
Yep. I'm going to come in after one last sip. It is promised throughout. It has not left me wanting. One last sip.
Hit me with it.
Coming at you with an 8.6.
Wow.
8.6. I really like it.
Okay.
I want this with food, as it was told to me to do by the internet. It is outrageously smooth, but dangerously so, where you're taking mouthfuls at a time that you would, like, swig a beer.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, like, I don't know.
You might have swayed me a little bit. I think I was lowballing it at first. I'm not going to go as high, but I dig it. I'm going to go 8-1.
That's a good score.
Yeah.
I was as high as 8.8 at one point.
Jeez.
I was between 8.4 and 8.8, so.
But it's solid.
Yeah.
I dig it.
And again, for the bottle is non-threatening.
Yeah.
You would probably walk by it and be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
White label, just squid ink on it. But another quality choice by our dudes over at the Vin Bin.
We got to get over there. We're up to our last bottle, which I will get shortly to talk about, and
all right.
we'll talk about the next topic. But now that we are in the Spanish League and we've done Real Madrid, I think it's fair to just go with Barcelona.
Yeah, have to.
Yeah. So Barcelona for next episode, and Ryan's going to read you the wine, and we'll talk about the topic we're going to have for next episode. All right, Ryan, so why don't you tell the listeners what we are going to be drinking next week, and I will tell them how it ties into the topic.
So, next episode, we're going to be drinking a Pinot Noir from 2022 from Scenic Valley Farms. It is from the Pacific Northwest. It is from the Willamette Valley in Oregon.
This is probably the first
Oregon.
Pinot Noir. No, you had it right the first time. This is probably the first Pinot Noir we've had on the podcast.
Sure.
I think so.
Sounds right.
And what we're going to be discussing is answering the age-old question, mostly from people in the United States, is do they think that football, the Premier League and other like leagues, would be better if they had playoffs? And the reason we're doing this is because it's a vineyard from the United States, and again, it's stupid Americans who just don't understand the beauty of the point system and the relegation. Like, well, what do you mean? Yeah. Like, whoever just has the most points wins. So we're going to answer that question. We're going to go in depth and discuss, probably like a little Venn diagram of the pros and cons of having playoffs.
Love it.
And see where it takes us.
Yes.
So, yeah. Be on the lookout. Stay tuned. Be ready. But as such, it is that time.
It is.
We checked the bottle. Went down so smooth, we are officially out of Squid Ink. And must put the final cork in this episode and say, listen to us next time on another very exciting episode of Vino Volley. Ryan, please do us the honors of closing it out.
Folks, always remember, Ryan Giggs is a piece of shit. And to sip and soccer responsibly, and that we bid you a Freddie adieu.